The dog's in the stew.
Got a dog in the stew. He's snoring back here.
Have you ever tried yelling back at Sticks when he howls?
Yes.
Oh, does it work?
No. Makes him louder.
But did you see the way that cherry developed on that? That was really nice.
The way he got louder was very much how Chiefs Twitter was yesterday after the announcement. But I never got to ask you how you feel as a season ticket holder. Kansas City Chiefs are moving to across the state lines in 2023. Kansas has offered a brand new stadium, a brand new headquarters, and brand new practice facilities. The headquarters and practice facilities will be located in Olathe, I think near 169th and Hay 10. The football stadium, new stadium, will be in Wyandotte, out by the Kansas Speedway. It sounds like that's where it'll be developed. But as a season ticket holder, everybody else is upset. Who's from Missouri? How do you feel as a season ticket holder?
I mean, there's only a couple things that I'm actually upset about. I mean, as much as I really do hate the state of Kansas, there are some good things about it. And there's some fun things to go do over on that side of the state line, which this will now be another one. But we also got 6 more years until it's over there. So cherish these
Five
last years
seasons.
in in Kansas City, Missouri. But the two main things that I'm upset about is just, one, the size of the dome. Like you go from 80,000 in a relic of a stadium to 65. That's that sucks in my opinion. You're missing out on 20,000, almost 20,000 people. And I mean, the noise factor aside, like that's just you're cutting out people that enjoy going to see their hometown team, and I just downsizing like that just doesn't seem like it should have been an option. Like if you have the land to build it a similar size. Like please.
Well, that's not set in stone. The requirements are by the NFL is a minimum of 65,000 seats.
Well, whatever I thought the agreement was, that it said the number was 65,000.
I think it was Mark Gunnels who put out a tweet that he believes the new stadium will be somewhere between 65 and 68,000 seats. In
Yeah,
order to
but that's
host a Super Bowl, which is what the Hunt family wants this new stadium to do and be in the running for it, you have to have a minimum of 70,000 seats to host a Super Bowl. So if you do put it in at 65, you would have to have the ability to put in another 5,000 temporary seats in order to host a Super Bowl. But the minimum the league allows is 65.
well, still, I mean, downsizing just would suck for the fans that get cut out from getting to go watch the team. But the other thing is I mean, it's everywhere in season ticket pricing now. Like whatever
Personal
the
seat license,
yeah, the
PSLs.
personal seat license stuff. We wanted to hold out on that as long as we could, but it's here.
Yeah, I agree with both those things. The PSLs are I don't think anybody likes those. Now they never mention those so far. They have yet to even mention doing PSLs. I would find it hard to believe that they wouldn't do PSLs. Um, but there hasn't been any mention of them, so you can't say that that will definitively
Yeah, I
happen.
guess I'm just seeing different stuff than you are. I don't know.
I mean, the Chiefs have released nothing about the stadium other than the fact that they literally, at this point in time, once signing the documents and having their press conferences, the only thing they've said about the stadium is where it will be located and that they have currently zero plans. They don't even have a mock up of what the stadium could look like. Any imagery that you're seeing about potential Chiefs Stadium, that was all stuff from like during when they put their hat in the ring with the Royals to potentially get money from Jackson County and or the state of Missouri to do renovations or potentially do a new stadium. None of that was even rendered by the Kansas City Chiefs. They've stated that they haven't even yet hired an architect firm in order to potentially come up with plans. They've got no information about what they're going to do or what a couple of different plans could be. I don't even know if they have the land locked up next to the racetrack, which I'm that is besides the point. That will be where it goes, and that will get done. But they don't have any other They don't have a concept of a plan.
Well, I do want to point out or just mention that the old like border war mentality, like Missourians being
It's there.
bitter,
It's hard. It's
like,
hardcore
but I
there.
feel like that's super childish, honestly. Um, it's one thing to like say you're gonna miss the stadium or whatever, like Arrowhead really is a relic, but like to be that picky over whether it be in Missouri or Kansas, is silly. Now, when I was younger, I definitely like when I was a huge Mizzou fan and I hated KU and uh, like I that would have affected me. Like I would have bought into that border war type of argument or mindset. But that's younger, so I do feel like that's a little bit of a childish thing. Like I would still go watch them at the new place. So I'm not.
Can't tell you how many texts I received yesterday from friends that I have that are Chiefs fans that live in Missouri or from Missouri, and how they are season ticket holders and they'll never go to another game once it crosses over into Kansas. I agree with you. That's childish.
You're just depriving yourself of a fun experience. Like
They're no
that's
longer going to
fine.
be a fan. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
They're not moving back to Texas. They're not moving to a completely different state that's hundreds or thousands of miles away. It's 20 minutes across the metro.
Yeah.
You don't have to, nobody's saying you have to like it. Nobody's saying that you have to like, I don't like that we're moving out of Arrowhead. It was inevitable at some point. It is inevitable at some point that the Green Bay Packers will no longer be in Lambeau. Whether they tear
Yeah.
that stadium down and then build on top of it or build it somewhere else, Lambeau will not exist. At some point, I would assume in the near future.
In our lifetime, yeah.
In our lifetime, it will happen. I would say probably within the next 10 years, they will be working on a deal for a new stadium. And that sucks. But that's the way that it goes when you have to deal with building structures that they only last a certain amount of time when they're holding these sorts of events and fans and the amount of money it would take to fix them, reconstruct, do all of that stuff. It would cost more to do that than to just build a new stadium. And you have to get up with the times. There's a reason why Lambeau Field will never host a Super Bowl or why Arrowhead would never host a Super Bowl. They did it one time in MetLife Stadium and they'll never do it again until there's a roof on that building. Like they hosted a Super Bowl in Minneapolis. And even though it's cold in February in Minneapolis, they can go back and do it. Why? Because there is the dome. And I think what we'll see with the Kansas City Chiefs new stadium that'll be in Kansas, it'll be a retractable roof. You'll be able to host a Super Bowl, Final Fours, college football playoffs. You'll be able to do all these things. And I don't know what that means for money, maybe potentially going back to the Missouri side. I would assume not, because it's funded by Kansas, the whole state, not just Johnson County or Wyandotte County or whatever. Um, and that doesn't mean that it can never move back to Missouri. I think the Hunt family and every NFL or every major sports organization has shown you that they'll go wherever the money is outside of the Waltons with the Broncos, because that I think that's the only stadium not publicly funded. They will do whatever they want for some reason. But Everybody else has told you they'll follow
And I
wherever
mean,
the
doesn't
free money
this?
comes from.
I think I've gotten this confused when it comes to the timeline of like moving away from Arrowhead. Like, aren't the Jackson County voters like a little bit responsible for like they didn't renew
Absolutely.
something
Uh,
on they didn't renew some
they voted no. They
yeah, they
voted
voted
no.
no on
two it's been 2 years. It's been 2 full years. The Royals wanted a downtown baseball stadium in the Crossroads. The Chiefs threw their hat in a ring in the same ring. It was the same vote. If you voted yes, you got a baseball stadium downtown in the Crossroads district, right across from T-Mobile Center, and Arrowhead would have had its renovations and it would have stayed there. I think the Arrowhead plans, I think the Chiefs' plans were really, really poor at that time, and they deserved a no vote. But at the same time, if you wanted to keep them in Arrowhead, you have to understand that if you're not giving them the money, they are going to look elsewhere.
yeah.
And there's multiple people to blame. You have the voters in Jackson County. If you really wanted them to stay, it is your fault for voting no. You only had like 100,000 people show up to vote, barely more than what fits into Arrowhead to actually go there and vote yes or no. We've got the Kansas City government and legislature, the Jackson County legislature, the Missouri legislature for not truly working on a deal. They were still at the deadline on Friday trying to go to the Kansas City Chiefs and make a deal after it had already been reported that the Chiefs organization and Clark Hunt would be in Kansas on Monday or in Topeka on Monday to finalize that deal. And then um, you've got the Chiefs are at fault for this because a family that's worth $25 billion only wanted a majority of public funding to go towards either renovating or building a new stadium in Jackson County and not putting really any money of their own forward or trying to seek private equity or anybody else to jump in on that train to put money forward with them. Billionaires are going to be greedy. You have to understand that. The Waltons are the only ones in the entire world who have done what they did with a new with whatever they're doing in Denver. The only ones. Outside of that, everybody else is taken. So
Because that's Walmart money, Dag.
because it's Walmart money, they didn't even put up their own money. It's Walmart money. So, yes, the Hunt family is very greedy in wanting public funding, but so is every Nashville, Buffalo. So you got the Titans, you got the Buffalo Bills. Anybody else who's built the Raiders took public funding in Vegas. The Athletics are going to take public funding to go down to Vegas. Like it doesn't. Everybody's taking the public funding, so all three are at fault. There's not one individual, but um, you had a chance to keep him there if that's what you really wanted. And you voted no, and you had to know anybody who thought that it wasn't because there were a lot of people that didn't think there was an actual option for the Chiefs to leave. And there are plenty of tweets out there. It's all over Kansas City Chiefs Twitter that you guys thought this wasn't going to happen just because you voted no. And when you think something else isn't an option and you put somebody else's back up against the wall for what they want, it's always going to be the outcome you didn't want in the first place.
My man out here being philosophical. That's Bob for you.
I'm trying. You got it. You can't be. You can't. That's all to say. You can't be mad at this outcome because you voted for it. This is what it was, or you didn't show up at all. Like that's the other thing. Not very many people showed up. 100,000, barely more than what fits into Arrowhead Stadium. Like show out a little bit more.
Well, it's it's still like some ways off. So like it's not even that
20
immediate of a change, and we're all freaking out about it right now.
2031. I for one, like it was going to happen. They were going to move out of Arrowhead. I'm excited to see what this new stadium could look like and the plans that they're going to move forward with it. Clark Hunt did a show. Who's the voice of the Chiefs? Why am I blanking on his name?
Mitch Holtis.
Mitch Holtis. Mitch Holtis did his Monday regular show. Clark Hunt joined him after proceedings in Topeka, and he talked about a lot of what went behind and what they're going to look for in a new stadium, making sure that it stays loud, and making sure that the tailgate experience is still very possible. He talked about there even being a larger parking lot for tailgating when they make the move over to Kansas. We'll see if all that
Good.
happens, but
Maybe
they're at least taking into consideration some of the things that not only culturally fit the Kansas City area, but also fit Arrowhead Stadium.
so. Speaking of Mitch Holtis radio show, uh, do have you ever heard Kendall Gammon talk on the radio
Yes,
on that show?
yes, yes.
It's so it's so annoying the way he violently inhales with every sentence. Like he's gasping for breath every time he talks, but they still put a mic in this guy's hand. Like
Well, and they don't give him a mute button. Like, bro, just mute yourself for a quick second, for
take
a hot second. Just get the mic away from your face, dog. It's okay.
that kills me, bro.
Uh, as the Chiefs are
Great
looking,
long snapper, but needs to
yeah.
work on some breathing techniques or something. Mike, learn how to use a mic.
Well, as the Chiefs are looking forward to next season because this year was really bad. In
They're
2031,
not looking forward to Christmas.
no,
We're
no,
about
we're
to get
not, and
embarrassed on
we're not going to talk
Christmas.
about that game because it doesn't mean anything. We're on to our third string quarterback who's on a practice squad,
An-
maybe fourth string if something happens to him.
Another thing we're skipping over is just the tips because I didn't do great this past week, and this season fantasy football has just been the most frustrating thing ever. So I'm we're done with just the tips this season. We've given up because I suck and Sean's gone.
And Sean and I hold the record for most weeks consecutive at three. Tybo fell shy at two.
It still shows you how bad we are. So
With that said, I mean, listen, we've got week 16, or excuse me, week 17. I'm getting I'm even typing these things out wrong. We've got week 17 and we've got week 18 coming up, and there's only one team who is locked in their division. Only one division winner so far. I think this is like one of the latest times we've ever gone without having multiple division winners in a very, very, very long time.
isn't it the Eagles?
It is the Eagles. The Eagles are the only division winner, and that's because everybody who wanted to say NFC Beast, NFC Beast, well, guess what? They're still the NFC least. They all still suck.
And honestly, I heard something earlier. There's a decent chance that the Eagles could be the only repeat divisional winner this year because there's already a few um, that are like guaranteed they won't be repeat winners from last year. One of them being the Chiefs.
Yep.
Uh, but the the Eagles could be the only team that repeats as division winners this year.
Potentially, both AFC isn't really locked up. There's a little movement. The three at the top, there could be a little movement between them, but you never really know. In the NFC, it's more between like a couple of teams up there for the NFC, and it'll come down to week 18, I think, for all of them because previous winners and potentially new winners are so close in record. Looking at that, and we'll cover a few of these games, but the teams that we won't here, the Broncos are in the number one seed for the AFC at 12 wins. They are tied up with the Patriots. They could look to move down and maybe not be a division winner, depending on some results here in Week 17 and Week 18. Um, one
What are you
one
talking
division one division we won't cover here is the NFC, or excuse me, AFC North. We've got Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Pittsburgh would have to lose their two remaining games. Baltimore would have to win both of them in order to surpass the Pittsburgh Steelers to get that four seed. There will not be two, or there will not be multiple AFC North competitors in the AFC playoffs this year for the first time in quite a while. We also will not be talking about the NFC South. That may be something that we talk about next week, depending on how these results play out from their respective games. I think we'll be talking about one of them actually, but Tampa Bay, they need to pull out some wins and get themselves prepared for Week 18. The Lions, I know we won't be talking about either. They're not fully out. They need some help. They need to win their final two games. They're not out of it yet, but a win by anybody above them or a loss by them means that their season will be done and concluding next week in Week 18.
One of those teams is the Packers, right? Though.
That team is the Packers, who's right above them, and the Packers have to lose their two remaining games because they do have that tie. So even if they win one of those two, Detroit's out.
Okay.
Detroit would also have to win both of theirs. I don't think we're going to be talking about the Colts. Nope, we will be talking about the Colts. They've got a game coming up here. We'll talk actually about them and the Jags here shortly. But let's get into the first one. We've got Texans and Chargers in SoFi. I think what's interesting about this game, specifically just with playoff implications, you've got the Chargers one game behind Denver. If Denver loses one of this upcoming game, um,
They won't.
or which I don't believe they will, but I still don't think them winning this week against the Chiefs locks up the division for them as long as the Chargers beat Houston because they also play each other in week 18. So I think up as long as the Chargers win this game, they still have the opportunity to win the
Are
division
the
and
but the Texans
potentially have
aren't
a spot at the one seed.
are the Texans out of it? If the Texans
The,
win, they
yeah, good question. The Texans are basically all but in it. It's just formalities at this point. They would have to lose their remaining two games. The Colts would have to win their remaining two games, and I don't see that happening. We'll be talking
okay.
about the Colts here in a little bit, but they also would still jump the Jags. They do not play the Jags to finish off the season. They've got the Chargers this week and then the Colts next week. But if they win both of those and they can get a loss from the Jaguars either this upcoming week or next week, unlikely to happen. But if it were to, then they could jump with two wins over the Jacksonville Jaguars and take a top three seed. So there are implications. Neither of these teams will miss the playoffs. The Chargers do have it locked up, but this is pretty exciting because the Chargers do have a banged up offensive line, but they just for some reason keep that ball rolling. Um, Justin Herbert with a broken hand has played phenomenal, but they're going up against the league's
What
best
you're
defense.
what you're saying is if they win this game, they're set up to steal the one seed from the or the division from the Broncos.
The Chargers, yes, they definitely could. It would be they would need to win this week and they would need to win
And then
next week
they
against the
would have to beat
Broncos.
them.
Yes, they would have to beat the Broncos. They could win the division and very well with some help take
And
the number
that
one
would be
seed.
very Chargerish. That would be very Chargerish to do that and then choke in the playoffs. Like
That would be great.
just just shit down their leg in the first round. That would 100% be very Chargerish to do.
I would love that. But the Texans have the number one defense in the league. Justin Herbert broken hand, banged up offensive line. They have started to get their run game back a little bit more now that Amari and Hampton is back. They're gonna really struggle on defense, though. They just lost Perriman, one of their leading linebackers, I believe that is. I think he's out for this next game for suspension. Um, so they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. And the Texans' offense hasn't been quite so good this year. Nico Collins and C.J. Stroud haven't been able to get on the same page outside of a couple of games. I think CJ Stroud has really missed having Tank Dell, and they've been really struggling at the running back position. Not having Joe Mixon has been massive for their production this year. Woody Marks and Nick Chubb haven't been able to step up to the plate.
I would say that they have been doing better than Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco.
That's a low bar.
Well, I mean Nick Chubb. I mean, I think Woody Marks is fine. Nick Chubb has really struggled, but yeah, I I this to me would mean more to the Chargers, but the with how banged up they are, it's a tall task. I mean, I don't know if Herbert even feels his hand now at this point. So
Yeah. At the end of this game, it's going to come down to which side can perform better either on offense or defense. The Texans are going to have to make this a low scoring
the
defensive
fuck does
game.
that mean? You should get
It,
fined
mean,
for Sean's quarterback speak.
it means that the Texans are either going to have to turn this into like if the Texans are going to win, this needs to be a low scoring defensive battle because offensively, they're just not there. On the flip side, if the Chargers want to win, it has to be all offense from their side. They have to be able to go out and make this number one defense in the league look very mediocre. And nobody so far has been able to do that. As many sacks as the Chargers have given up in the last even couple of weeks, not even including this whole season. Um, I would be scared if I'm Justin Herbert. I would be very, very scared. Will Anderson and that whole defensive line from the Texans has wrecked offenses, and I don't expect that to change. I think he's going to be running for his life a lot.
I think he will too.
I don't think he's going to have the lanes to rush like he did last week either. I don't think he's going to be able to get forward in that pocket and find those lanes to run. They not only do a good job of penetrating, but also cutting off those rushing lanes for quarterbacks to escape out of.
It's the best pass rush in the NFL. Not much more to be said about that.
Well, then how do you feel about Seahawks Panthers? Panthers coming off of a huge win last week.
The
Uh,
Panthers need this, and the Seahawks also need this. I mean, to stay on top, respectively, right? Or are the 49ers
yes.
ahead of the Seahawks?
No, no, no. Seahawks are currently the number one seed in the NFC
Yeah.
with
So
12 wins.
the Panthers need this to stay on top of the South, and the Hawks need this to stay on top of the whole conference. So
Absolutely.
it should be a good game, and the Hawks being on the road um, makes it possibly harder for them. So
Losing this game for the Panthers doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of the NFC South because as long as they come out winners in week 17 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, don't they'll be fine. But if they lose next week, nothing. Now on the flip side of this, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose their game this week, I think it's against the Cardinals. No, the Cardinals play the Bengals. The Bucks play the Dolphins. If for somehow Tampa Bay loses this game against the Dolphins, they're out. They're done. It doesn't even
right.
matter if they beat the Panthers next week, even if the Panthers lose this week. Um, I think they'll still be out, just given head to head. But Panthers could, if they win this week somehow against the Seahawks, that gives them a lot of firepower going into the playoffs, and they'll have the division locked up. They could actually rest their guys next week against Tampa Bay. I believe that is. Seahawks, you're right. Number one seed, 12 wins. I think this means more to the Seahawks than it does the Panthers because Panthers hold their own fate in their hands next week. Seahawks, in order to keep that number one seed and win the division, absolutely must win this week and next week. They've got the Bears
The
behind them, the
Niners, the
49ers,
Niners
and
would
the
love
Rams.
the Hawks to lose this game.
Well, don't, you've still got the Rams too. The Rams are definitely still in the mix. The Rams and the 49ers and the Bears all have the same record. And I believe it is the Bears who would take the number one seed should both they and the Niners win. Although
They
the
can't.
Bears and the Niners
They play each other.
they play each other. We'll get to that game. I'm trying to stay on top of this.
Idiots.
There's a lot of moving parts,
I
Steinfeld.
should fine you for that. I mean, it's not. It's right there in front of you. It's you typed it.
I did type it, and I'm trying to run through all the scenarios in my head at the same time. You don't have the luxury of that, sir.
Well, you don't. You really don't have to. I think you're just forcing yourself to. But
I like to.
well, a lot of times you're wrong,
That's fair. A
and
lot of times we're all wrong.
I don't have the knowledge or effort to get the knowledge to find you. So
I think this game means more to the Seahawks if they want to keep that number one seed. That's at the end of the day. Everybody wants the bye week going into the playoffs, into the divisional round. They'll need it. They are slightly banged up. Can get some key positions, get some key rest back, and I don't really see the Panthers having a chance to win this game. Defensively, they've stepped up, but JSN has been the best receiver in the league.
crazier things can happen. Sam Darnold could have a bad game. Like, don't count anybody out, especially if the Panthers are quote unquote hot.
Can we say they're hot though? I mean, they had a good week last
They
week
could
against
get
Tampa,
if
but
they
they've
like if they win this week, they're hot, right? Like they're heating up.
two
They
wins
just
get
sunk
you
they just sunk the second ball in a row, and they're like
okay.
heating up, heating up. So
No, that would
if
be a
they
win this
sink
week.
they sink this one now. If they sink this one,
They lost to
they're
the
hot.
Saints two
They're
weeks ago.
hot. Whatever.
They're heating up if they win this game, sir.
No, no, you can't. I mean, the Seahawks are more than heating up. If you beat the Seahawks, you're hot.
It's not the rules of Pong, my guys. That's the
I
analogy you
well,
were
I
using.
tried to use it as an analogy, and you just.
This is bad. It's not right.
I'm just gonna corroborate.
Two balls in a row is heating up.
Shut up.
Third, you're
No.
on fire.
Well, duh. I know that. Stop. Shut.
Well, then the Panthers lost to the Saints and then beat the Bucks.
Shut up.
That doesn't work for a podcast.
Shut up. Talk about something else for a second while I
What are you looking
corroborate.
up?
Yeah, whatever. Leave me alone. They beat the Rams the week before that. So that
They
because they
did.
beat the caliber of opponent that was worth two, and then they lost one, and they gained one again, and now if they win the
What
Seahawks, if they beat the Seahawks, they're
a little bit of this.
they're hot. If they beat the Seahawks, they're hot.
We're skipping over. We're skipping over New Orleans. That's fair. They
Well,
by
Tyler,
way of
New Orleans
strength
fans
of
might
schedule.
get to be excited about a quarterback there, Tyler Shuck. Suck.
Tyler Suck.
He's 4-3. So
It's not great. Not bad, but
good
it's not
luck
great.
to if he's a rookie, bud. Good luck to the Saints. Draft better. Um, next game? No. Are you still talking about Hawks Panthers?
Do you want to talk about Hawks Panthers? Are you interested in
Okay.
anything in particular to this game?
And you said it already. The
All right.
Hawks needed. We both said it. So
JSN
been
stays on
said.
track and he
Everything's been said. It's said.
JSN on track to win the
We
Triple Crown.
I don't know about receptions wise or touchdowns either. He's not winning touchdowns. There's no way. Puka has him on that.
Oh, that's fair. But he is on the way
So
for yards at least.
we should look this up instead of just throwing darts out there.
You don't like darts?
Oh no, no. Wide receiver stats.
As far as receiving goes, JSN is less than 100 yards above Puka Nakua.
Because Puka had a monster game and JSN only had 90 yards.
He has 10
Puka had
less
like 212,
receptions.
didn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, he's got, yes, he did.
But
JSN
yeah,
has,
he won't win receptions because Puka's got him by 10
and Devontae Adams is the current leader by touchdowns with
touchdowns.
14.
Yeah. So long shot, but I don't believe he gets. I mean, it's pretty close. It's
He gets
close.
stat pad this week though. He's only 14 receptions below Puka, and he's only 4 touchdowns below Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams could be out again this week. He could be
Well, if
stat padded.
Puka Puka could take it.
Puka could take it. He's less than 100 yards away. He's 10 receptions
He
above.
only has 8 touchdowns right now though, so he wouldn't. I don't think he would get triple crown, but
It would take a lot.
yeah, he could definitely eclipse JSN in yards though, because you said Devonte Adams is still gonna be out.
Potentially, he's potentially still. I don't think he's been fully listed as out, but I do believe they said after the game this past Thursday that it was unlikely he would play in this upcoming week.
So
And
yeah,
so far, he's going to be
Puka.
monitored through the week. I believe it's unlikely. Yeah, it's unlikely that he will play this upcoming week for Sean McVay.
I didn't think JSN was able to be hawked like less than 2 weeks ago. So but it's kind of laying out in Puka's favor right now. So
I like it. Well, in our next game, it is back to the AFC where the Jacksonville Jaguars go into Indianapolis. Colts at home are 6.5 point dogs. Phil Rivers tried to really put up a game against the 49ers on Monday Night Football, and then ended up turning the ball over 3 times, one of them at least being a pick six, and really just missed that game away, lost by 2 scores. Um, and the Colts need to
this
win
would
out, and they
be
need a little bit of help.
this would be just an absolute meltdown if the Jags lose this game though. I don't care if it's on the road. Um, the way the Jags have been playing lately, like if you go into Indianapolis and lose this game, like you're killing your momentum and like this. I mean, it would be a huge demoralizer, and it would paint them exactly the way that I've been talking about them. Like you can hit a couple streaks here and there, like you can play great in a couple of games, but you're not cut out to be like representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. Um, you can still work on that whatever that punishment is if the Jags actually make it. But this is a game that the Jags should 100% win, and if they lose, it would be disastrous, and you would just they would be frauds clearly, and not a competitive playoff team. So
Multiple score win last week against Denver. I believe it was in Denver.
yeah,
Um, for
twas
yeah, multiple 2 touchdown game win by 14 points against Denver in Denver. I don't think this loss means that it's a divisional game. It is a divisional game. I don't think a loss would mean that they are not a good team nor a proper representation of the AFC
ponies,
should they go through
fakes.
the playoffs and make it there. Um, a divisional game, literally anything can happen. You talk about it and have talked about it for the Chiefs all the time. And we have lost those divisional games in previous years and still gone on to win Super Bowl
Not
titles and
very many of
AFC
them.
titles.
We beat
Um,
the Denver Broncos like a hilarious like 16 times in a row, dude.
and we always split with the Chargers and we would split with the Raiders on a regular basis. Like it's okay
We
if
didn't
you
lose
lose
very
this
many of
game.
those.
They've
I
got
mean, I guess
the
so. Quit being a freaking Trevor Lawrence sympathizer, dude.
I'm
Why are
I'm
you
not.
up
They've
there
got a
nuts, bro?
playoff spot
You
locked in.
love gay ass Liam Cohen and freaking Goldilocks Trevor Lawrence, bud. Like
I,
you make me
I've
sick.
changed my fandom. I've changed my fandom to
You make me
Duval
sick.
County. Changed my fandom to Duval County.
I don't care.
Duval.
Gross, dude. That makes me want to puke.
Um,
That's
they
gayer
need to
than
keep
Let's
winning.
Ride. That's gayer than Broncos country. Let's ride. Like what?
They they do need to keep winning though, because Houston is right behind them, knocking on the doorstep. Now, They will not play each other to finish off the season, which I find as very interesting. But they have split with the Texans. So it would come down to other tiebreakers should they finish with the same record. Houston's only a game behind with a fairly easy schedule to wrap up the end of well, I shouldn't say a fairly easy schedule. They play the Chargers this week, but week 18 it's also against the Colts. So win these 2 weeks. If Jacksonville were to fall once in their easy schedule over the final 2 weeks, then they could jump them for division winners. I don't see that happening. I see the Jaguars winning the division this week, stomping it out, and being done and over with. And
That's what should
locking up
happen.
at least a 3 seed. They do also have the chance at making a 2 or 1 seed should either New England or Denver decide to falter at least once in these final 2 weeks. And that defense, you talked about whatever. The Jaguars are peaking at the right time. Their defense is definitely scary to go up against. I know Bo Nix has not played that well this season. He had a couple good games. We talked about, hey, if he beats the Jacksonville Jaguars and this defense, be on the lookout for Denver in the playoffs. What Jacksonville just did to the Broncos and was able to do against that defense at home, that's something to be on the lookout for.
For sure. But I think at the level that they're getting turnovers, the rate or the level, however you want to put that, you don't usually see that success carry over into the playoffs. We're talking about law of averages here. So I think, like I said, you can put together some great performances, right? You can play well for streaks, however, like they're not playoff competitive team. Even though they beat the Broncos, the AFC is wide open. Whatever. Somebody with a better quarterback is going to beat them because I hate Trevor Lawrence. And
He's
that's
been
and
pretty
that's
good
all
over
it is,
this
and that's all it has to
11 game
be.
win
Like there
streak.
doesn't even have to be any legitimate football commentary on that. I hate Trevor
You just
Lawrence.
you just hate
There's
Trevor
plenty
Lawrence.
of quarterback. He's not worth the contract that he got. Like
And if he makes the Super Bowl, there will be some sort of public punishment that you will be doing,
I
Tybo.
why I mean public. That sounds so weird. Just I'll take on the punishment, whatever it has to be. You and Sean need to get together on that.
1,000 word
But
essay
for
on
now,
why
for now, for
Trevor Lawrence
now,
is the
for
GOAT.
now, for now, the goat next game. I'm not. I'm not even. We're going. We're moving past that. Next game, Eagles Bills.
Both of these teams are already locked up to be in the playoffs. The Eagles, obviously, we've talked about, do have their division locked up. They will, regardless, be a
So
top
the
three
Bills
seed.
need this. The Bills need this more than the Eagles do.
Absolutely. Though the the Eagles could probably move up one spot into the 2 seed should things shake out and help them out a little bit more, at least in the way that seeding goes. This means way more for the Bills. The Bills are not out of winning their division just yet. Uh, I think I think it'll take the final 2 weeks in order to do that because they split with New England. New England would have to win both of their week 17 and week 18 games in order to lock up the division at this point. But yeah, the Bills they could still move down with any losses. Houston is right behind them. They're only a game under. And they could still move up. They absolutely need to win these games if they want an easier path into the playoffs. I don't think they have a single shot of making it past the divisional round in the AFC the way that their defense and passing game has been all season if they do not get a top 4 seed.
Playoffs are about the run, baby. It's all James Cook.
It's about the run when you also have home field advantage in Buffalo and it's cold and it's snowy. If you're not in Buffalo when it's cold and it's snowy, you go to Jacksonville, sorry, like Their defense is good. It's warm, and they still have to air it out. And guess what? Your passing game is still bad, and your
Their
defense
defense is
is
good when they
bad.
create turnovers, primarily in the passing game. Like if Josh Allen doesn't have to throw the ball as much and James Cook can just continue to run the ball, the Bills could easily beat the Jags, dude.
I just saw them barely eke out a win against the Browns by 3 points, barely eke out a win by 4 points to the Patriots. They barely eked out a win against the
Hey,
Bengals
what
by
did the
five
Chiefs do
points.
last year and we made the Super Bowl, dude? Barely eked
I
out wins against inferior teams. Like, I mean,
that's fair. I also think this Bills team is far inferior than that Chiefs team. I think they're far in. I or sorry, not inferior. I I do not think this Bills team is good. The only thing that they have going
it,
for them, and a lot of people would
dude,
go, "Hey,
sometimes they
Josh
show up
Allen,
and sometimes they
James
don't.
Cook."
But like, it really, I mean, when you have a guy like Josh Allen and you have a running back like James Cook, like sometimes it doesn't even matter what the defense does. They can get it done
That's
in.
fair. We've seen that all season. Them giving up a lot of points to
But
teams that
they need this
shouldn't.
win. They need this win to hold on to the division because if they lose this game, they're letting the Patriots like they're giving them the opportunity to take it.
That, and they have potentially opened up the door to being the 7th seed.
Yeah.
And being the 7th seed is not going to be good. Uh, they would have to play the
Both
Patriots
of these
if
teams are
the
kind of
standings were.
characterized by like being like they're good, generally good teams, but like some weeks you're going to get an absolute shit performance. So,
The yes, but for the Eagles side, it's generally from their quarterback, which is not where you want those bad performances to be. And their run game has been far less than what it was than what we expected it to be. You've got
yeah, I
one
mean
one of, if not the best running back in the
this
league,
year you would take James Cook over Saquon. Like you have
without a
to.
doubt,
Yeah.
no question. And it's not an indictment on Saquon. That offensive line for the Eagles just has not been good.
Bad offensive line versus a bad defense. Let's see who sucks less.
We had a couple of those matchups so far this year. The final game that I and potentially the best game of the weekend, like Texans Chargers is probably in that conversation.
Could be the most exciting for sure.
This could be the most exciting. I think it will be the most exciting game of the weekend. Bears and Niners in Santa Clara. Vegas has this one at Niners being home favorites at 3 points. I think that's probably fair given the way that the Niners have played so far this season. I think they are the biggest shock across the NFL. I don't think there is a bigger shock of how well they're playing.
Is
12 wins,
but
missing most of their
is
defense,
that
having their
is
starting
there any
quarterback out.
is there any other reason for that really besides Fred Warner being out? Like their defense is playing like at a high standard, and they don't have their best like one of the best middle linebackers in their history.
I think their defense is down something like 7 starters, like guys who were starting at the beginning of the
None
season
of
and
them are
out due
as
to injury.
impactful as a Fred Warner, dude. Like
That's
that's your
that's fair.
Mike linebacker who's one of the best in their history. Like he doesn't
One of the best
he's
in the
not
league.
like he's really not Patrick Willis to me, but like Fred Warner is still a monster and like just makes every play out there. So to lose a guy like that and still they only have how many losses?
4 losses. They're
Four
currently
losses.
11-4.
Like
Yes.
and I mean I know you go through all that stuff with Brock Purdy this year, but regardless of the money spent on the guys, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy aren't that much different of a quarterback. So, um, yeah, I Fred Warner being gone and the 49ers being where they're at, I would have never you asked me that the week that Fred Warner goes down, there's no shot. I there's no shot. I think they end up where they're at right now.
I even if they had had for like I even if they had had him, I would have sat here and told you they're losing every week, though we both agree Brock Purdy is not that good of a quarterback and doesn't deserve, we don't believe that he deserves the contract that he's received. And I think it's shown this year because they've been able to win multitude of games with Mac Jones at the helm. Christian McCaffrey has stayed healthy and stayed in the games. Their number one receiver, Brandon Ayuk, hasn't played a single snap this season and probably never will for the 49ers again, which
Yeah.
leaves their number one receiver to be Juwan Jennings and their number two to be Sky Moore when he's not on injured reserve. And you've also got George Kittle, who's missed a multitude of games this season as well. What Shanahan has been able to do, what Bob Sala has been able to do, just around the whole team is incredibly surprising. Would did did not think that they would be in this position, and I think it means more to them to win this game this week, that stay in competition for the division and for potentially the number one seed. Even though the Bears are right there for the one seed, um, they don't necessarily need this to win their division. They play the Lions next week. I mean, they still need to stay in it. If they lose two and the Packers win two, Packers win the division and take probably the three seed at that point. I would guess, depending on how things shake out with the Eagles. But I think it just means a little bit more to the Niners, even though they've got the division, or excuse me, a playoff spot locked up, just like the Rams do. The Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks, the Bears, they're all competing for that number one seed.
Yeah, I mean this game is like a really cool and fun matchup this late in the season, given where both teams are at. But just the matchup itself, like I think the Bears have more offensive talent, even when the Niners are fully healthy. But honestly, it's crazy how much CMC can just completely carry them. So if the Bears get their turnovers, like the Bears are up there with the Jags, I want to say, when it comes to turnovers in the NFL. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But
I believe so.
when when the Bears get their turnovers and they keep giving their offense opportunities, like keeping their offense out on the field is generally a good thing, honestly, across the board in the NFL. So if the Bears continue that trend and can force some turnovers in this game, um, easily the Bears will win this game. But if we're just in just kind of like a slugfest and both defenses are making plays here and there, CMC is going to town, and you're running the ball a lot with D Swift. Hang on just a second. Dude, it's so annoying. But I mean, this is this is football at its finest in late season game or late stage in the season. This is what we friggin' watch football for, man. Like the both of these teams could get the number one seed, and they're gonna fight like hell for it. You know this is going to be a highly contested matchup. Don't expect it to be a blowout on either side. But this is this should be the best game of the week.
Something to watch out for in this game from the Bears' perspective. Defense hasn't been that great outside of turnovers and taking
Getting
away
their
the ball.
turnovers.
It, expect CMC to have a hell of a week. He'll probably win you
Yeah.
if you've got him. He's probably going to win you your fantasy
League
championship.
winner.
But from from the
He
Bears'
finally turned out to
perspective,
be a smart. I mean, he was a smart draft pick last season, right? He played the whole
yep,
season. Yeah.
yes.
2 years in a row, smart draft pick, CMC.
From the Bears' perspective, they're missing some firepower. Luther Burden is out. He's been out for a couple of games. Rookie, he hasn't been that involved because you've got Roma Dunze and DJ Moore. But guess what happened last week? No Roma Dunze. DJ Moore was the highlight of the Bears' offensive fire. Him and Olade Zaccheaus, who's been a surprise name. He's usually wide receiver three, wide receiver four, wherever he goes. Zaccheaus
He got decent work. He got decent work at the beginning of the season because they've
and
had injuries here and there with their wide receiver core. So
yes, and he's going to get some work this upcoming week
I think it's
because as
mostly
of right
been
now,
Roma Dunze. Rome Odunze's had on and off injuries.
Yes, and we didn't see him last week. We didn't see him the week before. He does have a fracture, a slight fracture, and he could be out this week as he tries to heal up for the playoffs. They do have the playoffs locked up. It would be a shame should they not win the division and take a top three seed. But at this point, you don't know what you're going to get
But even when you miss a piece like Roman Dunze, like they're deep when it comes to offensive weapons because you
in
you
play
don't
calling.
you don't tend to factor in how good their tight ends are too. I know Colson Loveland is young, but arguably the best tight end to come out of the draft, just like technically. Um, but Cole Kmet is also solid. Like he's a solid target. Was like pretty highly sought after coming out of college, and when you land two targets like that, that just kind of supplement your already talented wide receiver room. Like they're sneaky talented, and like they don't. I don't know if they get really talked about as much as they should, but like Caleb Williams not throwing interceptions like is plenty fine for what they have on offense. Like they have two good running backs and they have amazing talent to throw the ball to. So if he's just careful, if if
100%.
if all he if you want to label that as being a game manager, that's kind of fine. Like I don't think Caleb Williams is like a superstar by any means. Like I think he's good. But if all he does is be careful with that football, they will succeed. And the defense complementing that by getting turnovers this year, I think they have a good shot of beating the 49ers.
That and you touched on it just briefly, but the run game. I think the run game is slept on tremendously. They've got two great running backs in DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. Not only in being able to run the ball, time of possession, really slow the game down, and opens up that field for the passing game. They pass protect really, really, really well, which has been a game changer for Caleb Williams this year. And maybe Caleb Williams isn't that star yet, but one of his best traits that has helped out this season and by not turning the ball over has been that pass protection in the backfield and being able to roll out and just find somebody, slow the game down a lot for him. And I think that works with the receivers that he's got. Zacchaeus, DJ Moore, and when Rome Odunze is healthy, those guys can go unscripted with the best of them, be able to get themselves open. And Caleb Williams has been able to use his feet. I think that's going to carry them a long way. I, maybe not in this game. We'll have to see. 49ers are very, very good defensively, but I think it can carry them a far ways in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I think I've been wrong a few times about the team that you don't want to play in the playoffs. Um, but yeah, you don't want to play the Bears, dude. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
I mean,
The
you,
NFC, the
you got a young
NFC does
quarterback,
the NFC does look way better than the AFC this year right now.
but I think the Super Bowl winners coming out of the NFC this year, without a doubt.
I think so too.
Well, we do have those. Those are some of the best games from this weekend. Those aren't the only really good games that we'll have this weekend. A lot of these, I still expect them to be pretty good, as teams will be competing to suck to get a better pick. But a lot of these guys are fighting for incentives. A lot of these
Yeah,
guys
I
are
guess
fighting
I
for
guess thank
contracts
God we lost to the
elsewhere.
Titans, man. We get a better draft pick.
Need it.
Thank God we lost to the
Need it.
Titans.
We're at 12 right now, and we can only get lower. I love it.
Let's go.
Uh, some of these guys are shooting for incentives. Some of them are shooting for new contracts into the 2026 season, whether it's with their current teams or new teams. So we still should get some decent football out here. And I think we've only got two games where there's really, really large spreads coming from Vegas. Looking at it last week, Tybo, not a good week for you, buddy.
Man.
7 wins, 9 losses. Sean came in last again. Shocker, shocker. 6 wins, 10 losses. I went the opposite, 10 win, 6 losses. I'm 4 games
Oh,
above 500. You are 4 games under 500. with only 2 weeks in the regular season remaining and then all of the playoffs. You're going to have to catch up.
Got to
I'm
be
going to
this
keep
week.
going first.
It's got to be this week. Oh man.
Tell me, buddy. See, you'll know where you need to go.
Let's
We've
go.
got three Christmas games coming at you. The first one's going to be at noon. It's the Dallas Cowboys. They'll be heading to DC taking on the Commies, who are 7-point dogs at home. Cowboys and Commies are both eliminated. I'm still going to stick with the Cowboys.
I'll take the commies here. They can cover that 7 points.
Next up, this is the Christmas 3:30 game. It is the Lions who will be playing the Vikings in Minnesota, where they are 7.5-point dogs at home. Lions are not out of it. They need a lot of help. They can get it done. They can get into the playoffs with some help. I will take the Lions to cover in this game. No JJ McCarthy. He does have a fracture. It's going to be Bromer or Bromeyer, whatever his name is, at the helm
Yeah,
in Minnesota.
Lions. Thanks for telling me that.
You're welcome. I try to help out where I can. Our next game, it is the Christmas night game. It was slated to be one of the best games of the season, especially here this late. Playoff implications on the line. Well, now there are none. It's going to be a snooze fest. Vegas has the line at 13.5 as the Denver Broncos head into Kansas City, and the Chiefs are a dog at home at that 13.5. I'm taking the Broncos to cover.
Oof.
Gave up, lost by more than 20 to the Titans last week. And Chris Oladokun, or Oladokun, however you want to say it, will be the starter.
Man, I don't. Can I abstain from picking this? I can't.
Absolutely not. You can. I'll give you a loss.
I don't think I've ever picked against the Chiefs on this
You've
show.
never picked against the Chiefs on this show. Does it start now? Do you think they can lose by 13 or less?
I don't want to win this thing that bad. I'm not gonna end my streak of choosing of yeah. I'm picking the Chiefs. Homer,
Uh,
you can call me what you want, but I know what it is.
and it's going to be bad on Christmas night.
Yeah.
To our Sunday slate of games, starting off with the noon grouping, we've got our first game that we think will be very fun to watch here. It is the Texans. They'll be heading into SoFi, where the Chargers are 2.5-point favorites at home. I don't really know why Vegas has it this way the Chargers offense has been giving up pressure. Texans really need this win to continue to climb and clinch their spot in the playoff. I'll take the Texans.
Give me the Chargers.
Next up at noon, we've got the Baltimore Ravens, who technically are not out of the playoffs. They
Technically,
need the Steelers to lose both of their games. They would need to win both of their remaining games, and it's going to be a tough test as they head to Green Bay, Lambeau Field, where the Packers are 2.5-point favorites at home. No Lamar Jackson, by the way. Give me the Packers.
also taking the Packers.
The next game that we think will be very fun this weekend, it is the Seattle Seahawks. They're heading to North Carolina, where the Panthers at home are 7.5-point dogs.
That's kind of rude to the Panthers.
they, they just had some pretty big wins. They won last week very very well against the Bucks. They won a
They
couple
beat
weeks
the
before that
Rams
against the
too.
Rams. They're
What are we
you know
doing?
what?
You know
Give me
what?
the Panthers to cover. I don't think they win this game, but I think they could cover.
I will take the Hawks because I'm catching your ass this week, bro.
We'll see about it.
We
You've
will.
you've you're already taking two losses before we even get halfway through the noon slate.
Leave me alone.
We've got our next biggest spread here, and it's the last very large spread we'll see where the New England Patriots, they're going to head into MetLife Stadium, taking on the Jets, who are 13.5 point dogs at home, taking the Pats.
I think that's safe. Yeah, let's take the Pats. Let's take the Pats. You and me. Let's
Division matchup where the
division
Steelers
matchup.
absolutely need this win to lock a division win in and take the playoff crown at the 4 seed. They're heading into Cleveland, where the Browns are 3.5 point dogs at home. The Browns, Kevin Stefanski came out at his press conference today and stated that the nasty man, Deshaun Watson, will not see the football field this season.
Yay!
Give me the Steelers.
Steelers win. Myles Garrett gets the sack record against Aaron Rodgers.
Would love to see it. Let's see what else we got here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get an easy slot in their schedule as they'll be taking on Quinn Ewers and the Miami Dolphins. At Hard Rock Stadium, the Dolphins are 5.5 point dogs.
The names of starting quarterbacks this week, man. This is where is the NFL, dude? What has happened?
You get
Philip
your
Rivers in 2025, Quinn Ewers, Chris Oladokun or Oladokin, however you want to say it. Who's the
Brady
guy
Cook,
from Minnesota?
Bromer.
Bro, like who are these guys?
You get Brady Cook, former Missouri Tiger
Shedeur
for the Jets.
Sanders is like one of the better quarterbacks on this list, dude.
Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks.
What's the spread?
5.5.
The Bucks aren't that good. Give me the nope. Yeah, Bucks. I'll go Bucks.
We might have a fun one here in Cincinnati. It's two high flying offenses, two really bad defenses. The Arizona Cardinals will be heading into Paycom Stadium, where the Bengals are 7 point favorites at home.
Hmm.
Last week was a week where the Cardinals failed horribly and miserably. If you are a fantasy football player, it was the one week where you did not need Jacoby Brissett to show up like the old Jacoby Brissett, and
And
he
I told you to
absolutely
start
did.
him. I
He
told you to
absolutely
start
did.
him.
You blew me a couple leagues, dude. Appreciate
Oh,
you.
I suck. I suck so hard, dude. Fantasy football sucks. This year has sucked so bad, dude.
Give me the Bengals.
Damn, dude. I wanted you to pick your boy Kyler, who's not even
He's not playing. What are we doing?
Um yeah, I also want the Bengals.
You've only got a few games left to catch me if you're going to try to this week.
Dude, hush your mouth.
Get to our next game. That is definitely has to be watched for playoff implications here. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into Indianapolis, where Phyllis Rivers and the Colts are 6.5 point dogs at home. Give me the Jags.
Colts.
That's not going to do it for you. Last game in the noon hour here. We've got the New Orleans Saints. They'll be heading into Nashville, Tennessee, where the Titans are 2.5 point dogs at home. Off the
Battle of
back of a
the
big win.
Battle of the rookie quarterbacks.
And both having big wins this past week. I think the Saints will get it done. Their team's just a little bit better.
What's the spread? I don't think you
Two and a
said.
half.
2.5.
Titans are dogs.
Um Fuck it. Give me the Titans.
To our 3:05 game. We've only got two 3 o'clock games this upcoming week. I don't know how I feel about it. Don't really like it. But our first one at 3:05.
Because we have Christmas games.
I know, but I just don't like it. We've got the New York Giants. They'll be making the cross country trip to Las Vegas, Nevada, where they'll take on the Raiders, who are 1.5 point favorites at home. Golly.
This I saw a video that said this was like the the baseball episode from South Park where Stan and his friends are trying to lose baseball games, but like the other schools are also trying to lose, and they just keep sucking into into the next championship. Like,
Is this going to be an overtime game of like 3-3?
no, we're gonna lose. No, we're gonna throw it right to you. Like, no, here you go. We'll fumble it and give it right to you. Like,
Oh man, give me the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
then I'll take the Giants.
2 games left for the games with massive playoff implications that you should be paying attention to. At 3:25, the Eagles will be heading into Buffalo, where the Bills are 1.5 point favorites at home. Give me the Eagles. I do not trust the Bills.
Oh man, on the road though, I'll take the Bills.
Sunday night football, probably the most exciting game of the weekend, or so we think it will be. It is the Chicago Bears heading into San Francisco, where the Niners are 3 point favorites at home.
The loser really won't have a shot at the number one seed, right?
Absolutely. The
Loser
loser of
can
this
kind of
game,
kiss the number one seed goodbye.
absolutely. Although, if it is the Bears who lose this, they can still win their division. If the 49ers lose this, they have no shot whatsoever at winning their division. I think the Bears will get it done. Even without Roma Dunze, I like what they've built this year. I think the Bears can get this done.
I'll take the Niners.
And final game of the week, it is Monday Night Football.
Monday night.
The Los Angeles Rams are making a cross country trip where they'll be playing the Falcons in Atlanta, who are 7.5 point dogs at home. They played pretty well the last couple of weeks.
They have.
Um, uh, is a contract year for Kyle Pitts? I think it is because he's come on as of late, but I don't think it'll matter. Give me the Rams. They're fighting for a number one seed, a division title. They need some help from the Seahawks to take a loss in the last couple of weeks, at least one. Uh, uh, they're going to be busting chops to get up there,
I'm also gonna take the Rams.
and that will do it for NFL Week 17. Um, no pregame show or excuse me, no postgame show this week. There won't be a postgame show next week as we get through the holiday season.
We
We'll
got a
just do
wonky
another,
holiday schedule, fans, so just
just a
bear
little
with
bit, just a
us,
little
okay?
wonky, just a little
Bear with
wonky.
us, okay?
You get Christmas on a Thursday, you get New Year's on a Thursday, but we'll have been rested and ready for playoff football. And Sean will be back with us. This guy's got a wonky schedule coming up. So after the new year, Sean will be back with the show when he is ready and rested from his holiday travels.
Clearly, it's gonna wear him out.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Just like the Chiefs are worn out and moving to Kansas.
We have to bring that back up.
Why not?
We have
Full
six
circle.
years. We have six. We have
We have
5 years.
5 years. 5 years.
Go Kansas Chiefs!
The Kansas Chiefs, baby.